Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today I want to show you how to make a do-it-yourself improvised dust mask. Stay tuned. Okay, I want to talk to you just a little bit before we get started in this project about making a dust mask. Now, I make custom knives and I do some carpentry work and do drywall and things like that from time to time. And right now you can't get dust masks anywhere, especially anything, the N95s and all that, they're all sold out. And so what I'm going to show you today is how to make your own dust mask. Now, these will not filter out colds or viruses or anything like that. This is not a medical dust mask. However, if someone is coughing or sneezing, this dust mask, and I'm going to show you how to make, it will help keep that person's germs from being blown out into the air and out into the room. It will keep it contained. And so if you do have some N95 masks, you're trying to stretch out your supply, this is a really good way for you to do that, and just something you could put on the sick person, or if you yourself are sick and you just don't want to be coughing and sneezing on other people, this is a project for you. I also want to point out that if you have any kind of facial hair, which you can see I have a beard and I've already trimmed it really short, if I need to start wearing a mask around, I mean, as you see, I live in the woods. I mean, there's not a whole lot of people around here, and so, I mean, we're surrounded by hundreds of acres of pretty well wilderness. So, you know, I'm not really overly concerned about the neighbors and things like that. But on the other hand, if you do have to go out, and if you are concerned about catching some bug or virus, you want to make sure you don't have any facial hair. And I've trimmed mine down, and I will be shaving this off if I need to. For this project, you're going to need just a few simple tools. First of all, a roll of these Scott shop towels, and there are 55 total in here, and a couple of decent sized rubber bands, a bread tie, a pair of scissors, and a stapler, of course with some staples already loaded. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our bread tie and we're going to staple it to the top. And you want to try to make sure that you get some of the staples actually into the bread tie itself. If you don't do that, it won't fold right, or it will come loose easily. Okay, so there you can see we have that stapled on just like that. The next thing we want to do is we're going to take this and we're going to start folding it. And you want to fold this in what we call a Z pattern. So you start like this, and then you fold it back upon itself the other way. Try to keep the folds as even as possible. So again, just backwards and forwards, trying to maintain uniformity as much as possible. If you do this right, you should be able to use most of the towel until you end up with something that looks like this. Okay, next, we're going to turn it long ways. Take one of our rubber bands, I'm going to put it in here, and we fold it over. Now, one thing that we notice is that the way this is folded, we've got some extra material here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors, and where this is not even, we're going to cut this off and make that straight. I'm going to do that to both sides. Trim off just enough. Alright, so there we go. Now you can see we have it trimmed off very well. Now we're going to take rubber band, put it just inside, and fold it over. Just like that. Just enough we can put some staples in it. And we take the staple gun and make sure we go past the rubber band, like so. 1 and 2. Alright, and we do that to the other side as well. Take a rubber band, put it inside, fold it over. Again, just enough so that we can get a staple in there. Put the stapler inside, and we go 1 and 2. Alright, now if you've done this right, it should have stapled all the way through, and this is what we have. Alright, so what does this look like when we put it on? Putting this improvised dust mask on is quite easy. You just take the rubber band loops over one ear, over the other, with this on the outside. And then very carefully find where the folds are, and making sure you don't pull too hard or tear it, stretch it out over your face, making sure that you get a decent and comfortable fit. It's not that hard to do. Like this. And then with the stapled on bread tie, you simply push it in place, and this closes up most of the holes that right here next to your nose so that you can get a good fit. And this is what it looks like. Now make sure that you don't use real big and thick rubber bands. Use the smaller ones, because after a while that could get pretty uncomfortable pulling on your ears. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also make sure and check out the links in the description box below. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.